Psychopaths are not rare anomalies. They are not glitches in human evolution. They are not accidents. They are a recurring pattern in history, one that appears whenever power, hierarchy, and large social systems emerge. They do not announce themselves. They do not look monstrous. Most do not break the law. And that is precisely why they are dangerous. If you believe psychopaths are easy to identify, you are already vulnerable, because the most effective predators are not those who attack openly, but those who learn to walk among their prey without being seen. Psychopaths are predators of human beings, not only in the physical sense, but in the psychological, emotional, and social sense. They exploit trust. They weaponize empathy. They simulate emotions they do not feel. They manipulate, lie, steal, abuse, and destroy lives, not out of impulse, but calculation. What restrains most people from harming others is conscience. We feel guilt. We feel empathy. We internalize the suffering of others as something real. Psychopaths do not. This absence is not minor. It is not a personality quirk. It is a fundamental difference in how reality is experienced. To a psychopath, other people are not subjects. They are objects. When people hear the word psychopath, they imagine serial killers. These individuals exist, but they represent the extreme edge. Most psychopaths never kill anyone. Instead, they destroy lives quietly. They become abusive partners, exploitative parents, unethical executives, manipulative leaders. They operate below the radar of criminal justice, yet above the threshold of moral devastation. Statistically speaking, you have already encountered one. Estimates suggest between 1% and 4% of the population exhibit psychopathic traits. That means families, workplaces, classrooms, and governments. Psychopaths do not experience love as others do. They may imitate affection, but there is no emotional bond beneath the surface. Relationships exist only as long as they provide advantage. This emotional emptiness allows them to harm others repeatedly without inner conflict. And paradoxically, this absence of resistance gives them an advantage in competitive environments. Their internal life is driven by stimulation. Normal pleasures are insufficient. Many pursue risk, chaos, addiction. But the most seductive stimulant of all is power. Power over people, power over outcomes, power over narratives. Power grants control without accountability, and that is why psychopaths are drawn to it. Modern systems reward traits that resemble psychopathy: ruthlessness, emotional detachment, manipulation. As systems grow larger, individual suffering becomes abstract. This creates an ecosystem where psychopathic personalities rise unnoticed, unchecked, and often celebrated. Not because they are moral, but because they are effective. Psychopaths survive through camouflage. They study social norms, they imitate emotions, they wear what psychiatrists call a mask of sanity. They are often charismatic, confident, and calm under pressure. But beneath the surface, cracks appear: grandiosity, entitlement, contradictions, predatory gaze. As technology amplifies surveillance and control, the damage one individual can cause multiplies. When conscience is absent and power is amplified, pathology scales. Some researchers describe this as rule by the psychologically abnormal, a system where a minority without conscience governs the majority who still possess one. Understanding psychopathy is not about fear, it is about perception. Predators rely on ignorance, masks rely on belief. Awareness is armor. To truly understand psychopathy, we must abandon the comforting belief that evil is rare. History shows that when structures allow domination without accountability, individuals without conscience inevitably rise. Ancient civilizations understood this danger intuitively. Power was constrained by ritual, tradition, and moral law, not because rulers were virtuous, but because unchecked authority corrodes the human soul. When moral constraints weaken, psychopaths thrive, not through violence, but through strategy. They learn systems faster than ethical people because ethics slow decision-making. Where others hesitate, they advance. Where others reflect, they exploit. This asymmetry creates an illusion of competence. But what is mistaken for intelligence is often the absence of restraint. Modern society confuses confidence with truth, assertiveness with leadership, and emotional detachment with rationality. These misunderstandings are gateways for psychopathic influence. Psychopaths excel at storytelling, not because they value truth, but because narratives are tools. They reshape reality to control perception, and perception governs behavior. Over time, repeated exposure to manipulation erodes judgment. Victims begin to doubt themselves, normalize abuse, and reinterpret exploitation as loyalty or love. This is why psychopaths often leave behind psychological devastation rather than visible wreckage. The damage is internal: fractured identity, confusion, loss of trust. PT. Children raised by psychopathic parents learn distorted models of reality. Empathy is punished, boundaries are violated, manipulation becomes normal. Without intervention, these patterns propagate across generations. Trauma replicates itself not through intention, but through imitation. At the societal level, psychopathy manifests as corruption, dehumanization, and ideological extremism. Human beings become statistics. Suffering becomes abstract. Once empathy is removed from decision-making, efficiency becomes the highest virtue, and efficiency without ethics becomes tyranny. Psychopaths are not creators. They do not build civilizations. They exploit structures built by others and hollow them from within. This is why societies collapse, not from external invasion, but internal decay. When moral frameworks dissolve, predators face no resistance. The danger is not that psychopaths exist. They always have. The danger is when systems stop filtering them out. Healthy societies embed friction, accountability, transparency, moral education, and decentralized power. These mechanisms slow predators. On a personal level, awareness is the first defense. Psychopaths rely on emotional reactions. Calm observation disrupts their strategy. Boundaries are another defense. Psychopaths test limits constantly. When limits hold, interest fades. They cannot bond. They cannot transform. They do not heal. They only move on to new targets. Knowledge is not paranoia. It is clarity. If you seek clarity in a world of masks, subscribe. This channel exists to sharpen perception, not to comfort illusions.